Hello, I'm Zenu Park, and this is the final project for Advanced Python CSEI E29 Spring 2020. I would like to present to you Springer, the Jupyter Notebook Manager. Now, oftentimes I come across homeworks that require me to work on a Jupyter Notebook file and fill it in. If the homework is relatively short, there is no hassle as I just add the cells and write code to explore, describe, analyze, and process the data. However, if there is a lot to be done, either for the goal of answering questions or for the purpose of simply messing with the data, I will end up adding or creating a huge number of cells everywhere. And this usually makes it very difficult for me to track what was where. So for a quick fix, I usually number the cells that contain code so that I know what I'm deleting or when I'm copying or where I'm copying from, and etc. Then what is the problem? Some notebooks are far from short or simple. One may even contain more than 100 cells, and it is not hard to number a few dozens of cells in an existing notebook, but it does take a lot of time and intended effort so as not to mix the numbers up. So the same could be said for creating a new notebook file with multiple cells, either with or without numbers. So the objective is to create a tool for processing notebooks to number the already existing code cells or creating notebooks with multiple cells with numbers in the form of comments. Which means that the main initial features will be, number one, generate notebook with a desired number of empty code cells. Number two, generate notebook with a desired number of numbered code cells, for example, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, etc. And number three, number code cells in an existing notebook. Now, for the moment, all I needed was the JSON library, which is part of the standard library in Python. A Jupyter notebook file is in the form of JSON, which can be expressed in the form of dictionaries in Python. However, simple manipulation of these dictionaries do not require JSON, as Python is also already good at that. But the JSON is required when the dictionary needs to be turned into another kind of dictionary that JSON or Jupyter Notebook will be able to parse. In other words, the dictionary has to only have double quotes and no single quotes unless they're escaped. So this is the flow. Suppose we have a complete dictionary ready to be notebooked. This dictionary is changed into a string by the JSON dumps method to ensure that the string has only double quotes. Then it is encoded into bytes to be written to a file. These are the results of generating multiple cell notebooks and multiple numbered cell notebooks. Now, numbering an existing notebook is somewhat different. The notebook to be numbered is read in as bytes, then decoded to UTF-8 so that it becomes a string. This string will then be JSON loaded so that Python will recognize it as a dictionary. The intermediate dictionary will then be numbered accordingly. After that, the numbered dictionary will go through the same steps as the previous example. And these are the results. Notice no numberings here and there, and then in the same place, in the intended place, here are the numbers. So now, before demonstrating, let's look at some code. These are the ingredients. Usually there are 4 top keys in a notebook dictionary, namely cells, metadata, MB format, MB format minor. And each key has a dictionary as its value. These 4 dictionaries then will be enclosed in one bigger dictionary that become one Jupyter Notebook file. The variable dict new cell is what is inserted as a new code cell into this base notebook file. One thing to note is that variables such as null, true, and false had to be created because these values are JSON specific, and variables of the same names with Python equivalent values had to exist for Python to get a hold of these values in the dictionaries. These are the classes. Base notebook reads in the ingredients and forms a basic one-cell notebook. One-cell notebook inherits from that and creates that basic one-cell notebook. Multiple cell notebook creates multiple cell notebook, whereas the numbered cell notebook creates one with numberings of code cells. And number existing notebook will add numberings in all code cells of a notebook in their first lines in the form of comments. And the notebook writer class then converts the dictionaries into a Jupyter notebook file. One weird thing or quick fix regarding a behavior that I did is the function solidify. This was needed in order to fix the resulting dictionary permanently during each run. Otherwise, some weird behaviors were witnessed, such as overlapping numberings in all cells after cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4, and stuff like that. So this is how to use it. And now we move on to the demonstration. First, notice the empty folders. This is the file to be read in, so this folder is also empty. And one is a default output folder, and the other is an example folder for changing file paths. Now, let's create a one-cell notebook, which will be Python-m Springer-g1. Let's go to the default outputs folder, and we have the new file. This is the new notebook. Let's check that. Springer outputs, output GB, outputs G, one cell. Now, let's create a new notebook with 10 cells. Go back to the terminal, type the same thing, or with the number 10. Let's check the file. Now actually hit refresh here. We have 10 cells. What if I want numbered cells? Maybe 100 numbered cells. Let's do that. Python-m-n 100. This is going to give us a new file by the name of output_n. Let's open that up. And voila, we have a notebook with 100 cells with all their numberings in them. Cool. Now, I remember I have this homework notebook file with many, many cells. Let's number this. See, there are no numberings here. No numbers. Let's number this. Specify the file to number. Let's go back. And then output_nx. Voila, we have the numberings. Cell 1, cell 2, only for the code cells. Cell 4. So, what if I want to change the path of the file name? So let's do that for the 100 cell thing. We're gonna have the new file here. Files created. Let's open the new file, just the new numbered. So same could be done with numbering an existing notebook. See this, and then we hit enter, go to the example folder. This is the new numbered homework. So let's open it up. Notice the different name, again, with numberings. So what more can be done? So far, I was only able to make the module process files on a file basis. but it would be interesting to look into processing entire folder or folders of notebooks and create huge cohorts of new ones. Also, it may be useful to be able to clean up a notebook by deleting cells that look empty, such as cells that only have spaces and new lines. So if there was more time to construct a database of certain useful or meaningful patterns to parse different types of empty cells, or even go further so as to recognize different names of packages and libraries and objects and variables. And this would enable a markdown cell containing an index of where everything is, like the end of a textbook. So that marks the end of the presentation. Thanks for watching. Bye.